Reef is here.
Yo, I think we're on right now, bro.
Yeah, we are.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? Oh,
Can't hear you, God.
yeah, hold on. Let me just turn this music off. All right. What's going on, everybody?
Rocking and rolling.
Yeah, man. That's that's the clip beat right there. Yo, peace, y'all. Today we're going in right now. We're talking about the brain and the mind. Sharif, you got a nice thumbnail, a new thumbnail. We're gonna make some more for you.
Yeah, man. Reef, I seen a photo of you, God, with the specs on, the suits, man, looking spiffy out here. I was like, all right, Dr. Reef.
Yeah.
Really, I was shooting on a film set. That's what those pictures were taken. I was on a film set yesterday. We were shooting. I mean, it's a low budget movie, but it's a major film. But so low budget for those out there is $1 million or under. That's a low budget film.
Tubi?
No, well, it's gonna go. I think it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be on Tubi. I know it's gonna be on Netflix, and I'm not sure where else. But yeah,
that's dope, man.
Yeah,
yo, peace to the chat. Peace Awareness Daily. What's going on, Awareness Daily? How you be?
Yeah,
it doesn't feel right without peace to Awareness Daily, but usually I see my Arnold Bay up in there. Peace to the panel, Moors.
I know, right?
Yo, Arnold busy, man. Yo, you already know, man. That's our guy right there.
Yeah. Death is not an enemy to man.
No, it's not.
That's one of the things about the Moorish movement, man. We want to change. We're here to change the narrative. It's a war on narratives here. We're here to change the narrative. Man doesn't die.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Man doesn't die. Just because he's not here in the flesh don't mean he's dead.
Exactly.
That's real. So we want to change the narrative. So yeah, we salute that brother. He graduated.
Yes, he did. He earned his wings.
Yeah, for sure. He graduated.
Transcended.
Yep.
All right. I want to say that this podcast today is dedicated to brother Cosmology Bay. This was really his idea. He said something underneath the post. He was like, he was talking about the brain and the mind, like, because we went into it one time, but we didn't go into depth. And he said, yo, can y'all talk about that? And I said, yo, you know what? Yeah, that's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? So Cosmology Bay, this is for you. Peace, Tyree. Peoria in the building. I'm starting to really learn our audience right now.
Yeah.
Thanks for viewing and supporting us, man. We really appreciate it. We're really trying to work this podcast hard right now.
So let's talk, man. This is a dope conversation or a dope topic, right?
Yeah.
So the science of epigenetics, some of the more later and cutting edge finds in epigenetics demonstrates a difference between mind and brain.
Mm-hmm.
And not just the difference between mind and brain, but the fact that while the brain is formed in the womb, memory is a function of mind. And memory, as per epigenetics, is prenatal and postmortem.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's deep, people. Just the simple implications of that support things like reincarnation, support things like past life regression, support these types of things. Now, reincarnation and past life regression directly implies something else. What? That you've been here before, and that leaving this or entering this does not constitute life and death. We were wrong. Our thoughts were wrong.
Got you.
Well, I want to ask you, being that you come out of the Nation of Islam before the MST of A,
yes.
What does the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say about that?
He teaches the other way around, but now there was on a few occasions where he went there with it. Those occasions are recorded in the Theology of Time lectures.
Trying to remember.
Yeah, but in general, what most people are familiar with, students of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, adherents to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings, is that a spirit is generated by the brain. Now, I'm not going to disagree with that but now what we're talking about is we have to define spirit in this respect. Because Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, I could throw out a spirit that can cause the Moors to fight. And I could throw out a spirit that'll cause them to come together. So that directly implies the use of the term that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was speaking to. See?
Okay.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that thinking can create a spirit. In other words, what would we call it in the Moorish science symbol of America? Power. Conditions. Thought creates conditions. And we could look at that condition as a spirit.
Invocation.
Yes. You see? So I wouldn't say that the two teachings disagree. It goes back to what we said about making understanding understood. We may be using the same words, but we may not have the same understanding or meaning for the same words. So we have to look deeper, right? So back to what I said about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad on a few occasions actually taking it there. Was when somebody had asked questions about the first creation or the self-creation of the first God. Think about the term, the self-creation of the first God. That means God did what? Created himself. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the presumption? What is the solid presumption out of that statement? God is self-created. What's the presumption?
That it created itself.
Well, that's the obvious because that's stating the statement. But what does the statement presume? That he existed before his creation.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad spoke to. He existed before his creation. Something else didn't create him, or else he wouldn't be God. And now, what is Honorable Elijah Muhammad speaking to specifically when he says the self-creation of the first God? He's speaking about the body of God. He's speaking about a presence of God in his creation. Woo! That's what he's speaking about.
Which is dormant in many. It's dormant.
That's man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is man.
That is man and man is mine. So what about that statement, man is mine? I don't know if I'm throwing you off.
No. You're not throwing me off at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that statement is backed up in chapter 1 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Symbol of America. And man became a living soul. Thinking, understanding, reasoning, and willing are functions of the soul. Consciousness is higher than thought. That's why we say wisdom is the consciousness that man and Allah are one.
Mm-hmm.
See, a sperm cell is consciousness with no brain. See what I'm saying? Sperm cell has intelligence, but no brain.
Yeah. It's an organism. Yeah, exactly.
And here, let's use ourselves. I can observe my own thoughts, can't I?
Mm-hmm.
But what part of you is doing the observing?
The mind.
See that?
Yeah.
There's a part of you that can observe thought, can observe the thinking. That means whatever part of you that's observing the thinking is above the thing that's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? See? So what are we talking about here? Man became a living soul. That means that he had a prior existence.
Mm-hmm.
And then that existence lowered itself vibrationally to become more of a manifest thing. And the more things are manifest, the more differentiation there is. You understand what I mean by that?
Yep.
Okay. That's why we say on the plane of soul, the essences of life are manifest. Not life, but the essences of. what we call life on the physical plane are manifest on that plane. The blueprint of what we call manifestation or manifest life exists on that plane. So a lot of the esoteric and occult schools, they make mind maps and maps of the higher functions.
Oh my God, I'm glad you said that, because 120 is a mind map.
Yes. Anything that we call a cosmology is a mind map.
Exactly.
It reshapes how you think about everything.
Mm-hmm.
You see? It reshapes how, if you absorb it.
Yeah.
That's if you absorb it. It reshapes how you think about everything.
It's a schema. As you say, the map, it lays out like
Yeah.
how the Kabbalah is also.
I was just about to say, the Kabbalistic tree of life is a mind map. It maps out what's happening behind manifest reality, behind 3D reality.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Wow.
And if you can put your mind there, then you can start to manipulate things in that level.
Exactly.
See? But now, what are we talking about now? We've already jumped neck deep in it. Mind. Yeah. We're in the realm of mind now. Mind is a realm of existence, just like the physical world. The fact that we're thinking right now means that you're talking about two realms interfacing with each other.
Yeah.
The universe of mind and the universe of physicality.
Exactly. Go ahead, Reef.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about right now. Mind itself is a world.
Now, do we share the same mind? Which makes us one.
That's dope. That's a dope question. I would say like this. I mean, the simple answer, well, no, it wouldn't be that simple. I would say it this way. We share the same field of activity that we call mind.
We share the same field of activity, which we call mind.
That's it. Because remember, I could observe my thoughts. That means there's something that is interpenetrated, something higher than the realm of mind that is interpenetrated into the realm of mind, which is why in our literature, again, I'll repeat, man became a living soul. Just like the sperm became an embryo. That means, but there was life prior to the embryo, wasn't it?
Of course.
There you go. There was life prior to the embryo. See what I'm saying? Man became a living soul. Why? Because the highest part of man went into the material, the field that we call soul. The slower rhythm, the slower vibration. It went into that slower vibration and began to organize it. You see? Yeah. And to use the words of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, formed a body for itself.
It or multiple bodies.
Called that body the body beautiful.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I was saying multiple bodies as well, Reef.
4.
Yeah, multiple bodies.
7 intact.
You already know, brother. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You see? So then these soul attributes became a body beautiful. Right. That's the self-creation of the first God in triple darkness. See?
Exactly.
Yeah. So mind is mind in this respect lasts, I won't say it's eternal, but mind goes far beyond your single incarnation. Long before it, long after.
Yeah.
You know who knows this in a very practical way? Shamans know it. Those who practice the animist traditions know it.
Yeah.
Those who practice the Yoruba traditions like Ifa,
Yeah.
they know this. They know it in a very practical way. Why? Because they rely on it. They recognize that those that came, they have responsibilities to the people that came before them and those coming after them.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do in terms of what we call today ritual is honoring that obligation.
Ancestral worship.
That's right.
In that form.
Yeah, I want to stay on the brain and the mind, but being that we went into shaman and these different tribes,
yes,
indigenous tribes
mm-hmm.
and practices.
Yes.
How much of that is accurate, and can be explained by science? Because I know the Dogon of Mali, they have their sophisticated science.
Yeah.
And the European didn't respect their science in the way they went about finding out what was going on in the outer space. They didn't respect it, but then
until they invented the radio telescope and found out they were
seen
right.
Them, right. And scientists always do that. They tend to negate those that came before them.
Let's deal with your let's first flesh out your question more, right? As relates to the ancestral realm, right? When we say ancestral realm, the realm of ancestors.
Wait, you talking about me or Mike?
No. I was talking about you. But follow me. The ancestral realm would literally be the realm of mind populated by previous intelligences.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, that said, let's go back to what you said about how does this jive with science? Well, now we have to qualify science because obviously the Dogon tribe of Mali has a science.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We have to qualify what we mean by science. And too many of us in the West will say science, and what we're really talking about is scientism. We're talking about the Judeo-Christian European monopoly on science.
On science.
Yep. That's a fact. Ooh.
Yep. See, they did with science what Rome did with the teachings of Jesus at the Nicene Council.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be real, even with science, we have to be careful. You see?
Oh, yeah, that's a fact. I didn't really think about it like that. That's a good point.
See what I'm saying?
They would corrupt every part of society. Do you think they wouldn't corrupt the science?
Exactly. Everything corrupt once man touch it.
Yeah.
You get it?
Mm-hmm.
So think about it. If science in the very simplistic sense is to discover what was previously unknown and make it known. And Western science, or the Western monopoly on science, is if I can't touch, taste, hear, smell, or feel it, or see it, it doesn't exist. Then it defeats itself by its own definition.
But I would like to say that the Western world of science is starting to, I think I said this before, it's starting to slowly turn a little bit. They're starting
it has to.
It
has to, brother, and you're 100% correct. That's the whole reason there's such a thing called quantum mechanics.
Yep.
That's the whole reason. And what is quantum mechanics doing to oversimplify it? It's verifying old world spiritual truths.
Yeah. They even trying it now.
Yes.
What the CERN project to find the God particle?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Like, come on. It's literally verifying. Listen, brother, when I can do a presentation, demonstrating that where I could demonstrate the soul, the body of soul from a quantum physics perspective. When I could demonstrate, and this is on topic, the transduction of consciousness from higher realms into our flesh in 3D, and I can use quantum physics to explain it. Are we talking religion or are we talking science here? The answer is yes. See? We're just using two different languages of art to describe the exact same phenomenon.
Right.
In the West, one of us makes us antsy, and the other one makes us comfortable.
Yeah.
So if I say, high spin state monoatomic elements, and then the electrons form Cooper pairings, which forms a Compton radius vortex, which provides wormhole access to the magnetoelectric exotic space.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like, oh, yeah, that's deep. Oh, yeah.
You're ripping basically to the time portal, basically.
Yeah. But if I say, behold, the soul plane is but the ethers of the spirit plane vibrating not so fast, and then the slower, people are going to be like, ah.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about literally the exact same thing, bro.
Right.
Expand your horizons, people. That's it. Expand your horizon. Like, because people are
literally the exact same thing. Or I say on the border of the plane of soul, these essences took on a final guard. The odors and the perfumes and the true sensation, the all of love became manifest, and it became clothed in flesh, and man was clothed in flesh. I'm literally talking about exactly what a Compton radius vortex does in the connective tissue highway and in the brain and cerebral spinal fluid.
Exactly.
On how consciousness is transduced into the body.
Basically, what he just said for the Christians is he just turned water into wine.
Straight like that. That's a fact. That's
so
a fact.
Now
because
that
wine is a what, dear brother? Spirit.
That's it.
Spirits.
Right.
Right.
So real quick, I want to go into now. We said man is mind.
Yes.
All right. So when we say man is mind, what does that? What thoughts come to mind when that's said?
Well, I immediately go back to Prophet Drew Ali's teachings. Man is a living soul. Notice he didn't say man is a soul. He said man is a living soul. Why? Because man's spirit inhabited the soul realm and made a body for itself out of the material of that realm. Just like we made a body of the material of this realm to be on this one too.
So would you say atheists who don't believe in things like this, maybe they didn't study deeper into what this can be potentially? Because
atheists in general, I can't speak for all of them, but atheists in general, first and foremost, they say they don't believe in God, when in reality, more specifically, they don't believe in the God they were told about, which is smart.
Of course.
But then they throw the whole baby out with the bathwater. So everything that's attributed to God, they say, nah, that's not real either.
But they believe in science.
There you go. So if I explained it in science and then showed them a slide, a couple graphs and a couple equations, no problem. See, even if what I'm describing is a spiritual phenomenon that's described in old religious texts. See,
when did the word spirit become so spooky?
Bro, on purpose. On purpose. This is a big part of putting our people to sleep and putting the world to sleep. See, because we could, even though I wouldn't stick with it, we could attribute the word spirit to the word consciousness. Okay? We could attribute the word spirit to the word consciousness. And consciousness knows no limitations of time or space.
Exactly.
None.
Very expensive.
None.
No boundaries.
There you go. Consciousness is only limited by your individual perception of it. See? If you believe your consciousness doesn't extend past your physical flesh, then it is so. Until things start to happen that negate it to where you're forced to see the truth. There's only so many times you could think about your mom or your grandma and the phone rings and they say, oh, I was just thinking about you. For you to be like, hey, wait a minute. What's going on here? This has happened too many times just to be coinkydink.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying? Yeah.
You know, and that's one thing I don't want to say I'm struggling with. I'm gonna start changing my vocabulary.
Yeah.
That's one thing I haven't figured out, right? Because in my life in particular, a lot of synchronicities happen, and
Yes.
a lot of the time I'm connected with people like the 6 degrees of separation.
Yes.
A lot of the time is kind of crazy because it's like I know this person that's connected to this person to connect to this person, and it all kind of matches my life. So yeah.
Yes.
That's another aspect of it.
So here's the question. If you haven't asked yourself this question, ask yourself this question. How did this come to be? This synchronicity.
It came. I would say it came from my own mind and will.
Did it come from just yours though?
Yeah, where that came from.
Maybe it could come from my will and other people around me that
remember what we said about mind.
That resonate.
Remember what we okay. Remember what we said about mind being like a field,
right?
And then we have presence in that field. So we have our own individual will, sure, but we're all in the same field, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So imagine that field being like a sheet of paper. We're all there. Somebody puts a dent in the paper, right? And we're all like little marbles. What happens? All the marbles roll into the dent. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
There's your synchronicities, people. There's your synchronicities.
What Reef just did right there is wild, Ron. With the paper. Not to go with that. That's an old Egyptian teaching right there in the mystery school.
Yes, sir.
Where he did basically showing like the universe, the vortex, the velocity, everything is in play. Where the energy is at, there's information.
Yeah.
It flows.
Yes.
Yeah.
So. Yes. Where there's energy, there's information. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You see? And so there's people of like mind already that are in the same field. They're going to flock to what you flock to.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They're going to flock to what you flock to. Now,
birds of a feather.
In the grander scheme of things, I'm talking about way beyond our individual incarnations. What does that mean? As Brother Mikey just said, energy, information. That means if there's a likeness in frequency, what's the information? We made prior arrangements and agreements in a previous life. There are no happenings. Law governs all events.
You know what? I never really believed in past lives and all that.
Yeah.
Because I never, first of all, I never really got deep into like really trying to figure it out.
Yes.
But if you can kind of give me like a basic, you know, of just those teachings.
I had a conversation about this years ago with Brother Wakil Allah. He was like, yo, y'all believe in reincarnation. We don't deal with reincarnation. Right? How do you see it? And I said to him, okay, well, today it's warm outside. Right? Today it's warm outside. This is the analogy I use. Today it's warm outside. You go outside with a t-shirt on. Tomorrow it's cold. You go outside with a coat on. Two different conditions. You look different. But it's the same you. You understand? Same you, different conditions. So your appearance is different. But it's still the same you. Right? And so I said this to him. What we're looking for, because we're uneducated, I'm talking about people in general, we're looking for the exact same person calling himself Ron Brown Bay to pop back up 500 years from now. That's why it's incredulous to us, because we're looking for the likeness and the personality when those are shadows, bro.
Yeah.
How do you know a different soul or recognize a soul? By function and purpose. Function and purpose. So if you're observing this particular soul and you could see it move, this individual move and act and react and whatever, and you're like, wait a minute, this is the same pattern as, you see now?
Form follows function.
Wakil was like, oh, we do agree with that. We call it a-like mind. Whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
Whatever you want to call it. See? Whatever you want to call it. You want to call it a-like mind? That's peace. But soul, like when we say in our questionnaire, what is a prophet? Answer. Prophet is a thought of Allah manifested in flesh. Right? Then it says, what is the duty of a prophet? Answer, to save nations from the wrath of Allah. Then question 38, what is an angel? An angel is a thought of Allah manifested in human flesh. Well, what's the difference between the two thoughts? Then it says, what are angels used for? To send messages to the four corners of the world to all nations. That's how you know the difference in a thought. That's how you know the difference in a soul. Its function.
Yeah. They always go back to one.
Yes.
All goes back to one.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
So when you can see function, then you can recognize the king. Then you can recognize Jesus come again.
Mm-hmm.
We're not looking for a guy with the look of a guy from 2,000 years ago. See? Again, it's a different day. It was warm that day. It's cold today. So if you're looking for appearances, you burn up. You'll never catch it. You got to look for purpose and function.
And this is, I'm speaking for myself.
Yes.
What's crazy about myself, I would say more in the past, is that I'm believing to myself that in this huge universe,
yes,
that we have all the answers figured out.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it.
Right. Think about what Prophet Drew Ali said in chapter 48 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science of America. He said that the world may see and know hear and know the truth, that amongst the descendants of the inhabitants of Africa, there is still much wisdom to be learned.
Exactly. That's true, because we are forever students, forever an apprentice.
Bro,
and as you said,
an apprentice, bro. And think of it this way: if our forefathers built pyramids and then we acquire the state of mind of our forefathers, come on, that's like the relatives of Henry T. Ford learning how to build automobiles. Are they going to build a Model T Ford? No.
Oh no. Can add on.
Thank you.
Further it.
Right.
No.
See, we're acquiring through the prophets' teaching the mind of our forefathers.
Now, I just want to talk about this to take it back to the mind and the brain.
Yes.
Brother Cosmology Bay, you know about this guy. I've been talking about him like this whole year doing this podcast. Joe Dispenza talks about what's referred to as the spirit entering the brain through the entering the brain through the pineal
gland.
Pineal.
So do you know anything about that? And
it's long, it's long, I won't use the word suspected, but it's long theorized and accepted by lots of people that the pineal gland is the primary means of transduction of consciousness into the body. I don't agree with it 100%. I have my reasons, but I'm not going to deny that the pineal gland plays a major role in that. I'm not going to deny that at all. But, human beings are walking around in consciousness with calcified pineal glands. So what does that tell you?
Amen.
That means that consciousness is being transduced in other ways, not just the pineal gland, or else they wouldn't be alive. Get it? Yeah. So I think the pineal gland is important. But see, okay, at my stage of understanding, the pineal gland plays a key role in your perception of perceiving higher realities.
That's deep right there.
You see what I'm saying? It plays a key role in your... See, there's what is, and then there's what you know.
That's deep. I had a conversation about that earlier today. Somebody was asking me about
what
the
you
mind.
know, and then there's what is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's cool outside, but not too cool. But I haven't been out there in a couple of hours. Could be bone, it could be brick cold. I won't know until I go out there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's what I believe it to be, there's what I believe things to be, and then there's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is why I bring that up. What I believe it to be is the limits of my perception at the moment. What I want to do, expand perception.
Mm-hmm.
See? I want to expand perception. So right now, the average human being, their perception doesn't go past their flesh. That's called the fall of man.
Mm-hmm.
This one sister a couple of weeks ago shot me a message out of the blue. It was like, Brother Sharif, is the soul in our body or outside our body? Really good question. And remember, this is on topic because mind is a function of soul. Thinking is a soul function. Memory is a soul function. So she asked the question, is the soul inside our body or outside our body? And my response, I said, well, I want you to think about it. Think about it. If it's just inside our body, just inside, then it's confined to just the physical sensations.
Exactly.
And you know, I told her, you know, and I know that your senses go beyond your physical body, don't they? What does that tell you right off top? See? So she says, so what do you say is the answer? I said, the answer is yes. But let me qualify, well, not qualify, let me give you a further explanation. We tend to say it this way. Our body has a soul. That's backwards. It's our soul has a body. Our body's inside the soul, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
See?
So you would say that I'm going to say go out on a limb and say that we incarnate from a field of energy first, and then we manifest.
Mm-hmm.
We literally, and shout out to Honorable Elijah Muhammad and even Minister Louis Farrakhan, one of his best students, for actually further elucidating this point. They bring up the point of conception and birth as being literally a microcosmic imitation or duplication of the creation of reality. From field to particle, from non-locality to locality. Come on.
The Big Bang. That's it. The Big Bang. As you said, the microcosm to the macrocosm. Whatever's taking place in the universe is in you.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't want to mess up your flow because we're getting somewhere with this right here now. Now the brother's Cosmology Bay says, peace. Ask the brother, what is the brain's job?
Same thing that a radio does, brother. A radio doesn't create the signals or the frequencies. It modulates them and makes them available for use.
Mm-hmm.
It's a radio.
That's all it is.
Right. Yeah. I always said like the brain is like a conduit between the mind.
Brother, you got it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Exactly.
But that means the mind is bigger than the brain.
Right.
All right.
It's just tissue. It's tissue and flesh. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It just have each function scientifically as they put it through anatomy, how they view it, what part's responsible for. But they just determine. It's to me, as they say, still practicing medicine. It's not fully,
Brother, the difference. Now, this is something Brother Mikey has knowledge of because of his country of origin, and this is something that's talked about fairly frequently, right?
Mm-hmm.
The zombie has a brain,
yeah,
but mind is not being transduced into it.
Not at all.
All right.
And that's both metaphysics and science, physical. And what's so funny about that? You mentioned that Europeans still trying to study that. They can't perfect it.
Still, the
That
whole
phenomena.
movie, The Serpent and the Rainbow, was about that.
Mm-hmm.
Was about pharmaceutical companies who hire what they call ethnobotanists. Let me say the word again. Ethnobotanists, whose job is to go into indigenous communities, study their traditional medicine, but more specifically to determine why it affects their population in different ways that it affects others.
Exactly.
Real quick, Tyree from Peoria. I'm always say Tyree from Peoria.
So can we act the soul plane while in the flesh, or is that only possible after we pass out of flesh? I'll use the prophet's words to answer that one. Thinking, understanding, reasoning, and willing. Call these not the soul, they are its actions, they're not its essence. If you're thinking and understanding and reasoning and willing right now, you answered your own question. Because those functions are happening on the soul plane as we speak. Man really is 3 in 1, people. Man is the microcosmic trinity, people.
Exactly.
Yeah. Consciousness, which is spirit, interpenetrating into soul, which produces thinking, memory. Okay.
Yeah.
And then those two things into physicality.
And the light, that's as you said, the force.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Keta Hokma Bina. That's how it functions.
Hokma Bina. How about that?
That's how it functions. You know what I'm saying? It goes deeper too into polarities of gender.
But now, since you bring that up, think of Keta Hokma Bina as a unity. Then from Keta Hokma Bina through Death into Tifereth, then Yesod, then Malkuth, you have the physicality.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I understand the tree of life a little bit better.
Yeah. That's how it flows.
Yes.
And Reef, what you can say, what's so beautiful about that, as we say, it comes from the cosmos. When you hit that daf, that internal light, that's just basically, you put it in spirit.
You hit it right on the nose. And Death, right?
Yeah.
Separates the normal from the supranormal.
Exactly.
Everything above Death is not subject to space and time.
It's not. But you see how it's internal light, the soul, right? Which means live forever. They say internal light, right? But it's crazy how that within those 22 paths, it connects right back to Keta, which is nothingness, and soft, right?
Right.
So it's that right
which
there.
We could find Keta in Malkuth.
Exactly.
That is what Jesus meant when he ticked off the Pharisees when he said, I and my Father are one.
Yeah. So that means man is forever.
That's why when you look at the chart of the Moorish Science Temple of America, you see the all-seeing eye at the top, and you see the prophet standing at the bottom like this. 1 and 2. All right, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Got you. Yeah.
That's why.
Wow. It's a beautiful topic, man. Wow. Perfect.
See?
All right. So now, before we close out, I want to go into this real quick. We spoke about this on The Time Never Was When Man Was Not. But we didn't really get into it.
Go ahead.
We got the universe.
Yes.
Now, you said there's something outside of the universe that created the universe.
Well, what do we call how are we defining universe? Let's start with that. How are we defining universe?
I'm going to say the universe is total blackness and all the properties that exist within this total blackness that manifests in the physical plane.
Is there depth, width, and height in the universe?
What?
Is there depth, width, width, and height in the universe?
Yes.
That means it's part of 3 dimensions, which means it's the lower of the 7 planes. It's only one universe.
Yeah. Luminous.
3D, people. That is the plane of things made manifest. That's only one. And there's 7.
Okay, can you run down the 7 so people could do their own research?
Well, it all depends on the school of thought, right? In our school of thought, we have the plane of protoplast, of earth, of plant, of beast, of man, of angel, and of cherubim.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
I've been looking at that whole time.
Yeah. Or if you go to Hermetic teachings, they tell you rhythm, polarities, consciousness, the mind,
Correct, brother. Correct.
everything. Like
Correct.
it's like you said, this universe is it's undefined. We can have an understanding of it, but we don't really understand it. There's a lot that has yet to be seen.
There's a huge, bro. See, exactly. The Western world collapsed our consciousness to 3D. That's all we're concerned with.
Exactly.
Ain't that crazy?
And I'm gonna be real with you. You know, growing up, I grew up in a spiritual family, but there was a point when I was quote unquote atheist until things start happening around me. And you know when that changed? When I went to Haiti.
Woo! Come
Some
on.
things I couldn't, bro.
Yeah. Nothing you were previously taught could explain what your eyes were seeing.
No. When they say this doesn't sound spooky, there's an entity they call Luga with human beings shape shifting and stuff like that.
Yes.
Bro, when you walk in at nighttime and something goes past your head, a ball of you can explain, or people flying on people's homes at night.
Yo, Maya Deren spoke about her, and I'll share this with you all. Maya Deren, in the book The Divine Horseman, she speaks about being invited by a group of Zobops. Tell them what a Zobop is, bro.
Yeah, the night walkers, like the Shumpos, it's a society within voodoo.
There you go.
Because you got to put in context for them too, Reef.
Yes.
The real meaning of voodoo is supposed to be healer.
Yes.
But through slavery and other practices were implemented, because Haitian voodoo is a plethora of many things.
Yes.
There are secret societies that are sorcerers that get involved in these things, and they do
the
black
reason
magic.
Why the West, the Euro West, demonized these things early on, as early as the Spanish Inquisition, is because they knew that was a source of spiritual power.
Of course. But there were some things I've seen in person that's like, you won't see that. Yeah, I've seen people swallow glass, swallow razors.
Yo, I went to one of those ceremonies and I saw some crazy stuff myself. You know, crazy wild stuff. So, but for me, everything for me, you have to show and prove. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but that 7 planes right there.
Yeah.
Yo. Listen. I look at that all the time. I see that all the time. I've been looking at that 20 years.
Let's just do this, brother. Man, and we know this from the Quran of Mecca. We know this even from the Bible. Man was given the task of subduing the earth and ruling the earth.
Exactly.
Meaning what? That's God's vicegerent in his creation.
Domain over everything.
That means man has not just a presence on all 7 of these worlds, but a throne on all 7. Right?
Exactly.
Why do you think you have 7 chakras? All right.
Yep.
Yeah. You have 7 points to plug into each of these 7 worlds, bro.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we're gonna cut this short because we got to do we got to do part 2 of this right here.
Definitely.
We got to do a part 2 of this. Thank you for Sharif for showing up this evening. We really appreciate it for rocking with us. It's been almost a year since you've been on our platform. You started getting on our platform in December of
last year.
This year, right?
No, last year, December.
Last year.
Been rocking since.
You got on December of last year.
Right.
So it's coming up on a year.
Yes.
So that's peace. And thank you for the support. I can't thank you enough. And that 7 planes right there blew my
one last thing before we get off. And we can bring it back up. I'll just throw it out there, but people can do their homework. Look up David Bohm, Bohm. He's a quantum physicist. Look him up. his big thing, one of his major contributions to quantum mechanics is called the implicate order. Implicate order. That's everybody's homework. You know why? Because the implicate order is just the quantum physics explanation of the 7 planes. That's all.
Deep.
Yeah.
Yo.
All right, we are out of here, man. Peace, y'all. Everybody on the chat. He said we need a part 3 too. We gotta get to a part 2 first, brother.
Yeah, man. We got more.
Yeah. Yo, peace to everybody in the chat. We will see y'all tomorrow for the Caribbean Hangout at 7 p.m. Caribbean Hangout, a new edition, and Jazz. Mikey Fever will not be on tomorrow, but it will be me and Jazz rocking out. See y'all tomorrow at 7 p.m. and peace.
Peace.